not hard at all to understand why it means so much to so many people.
2.5 miles to history.
When I was a kid, it was all about the Daytona 500, the most awesome event that you want to be a part of and win.
You don't get any other feeling going in any other racetrack than you do at Daytona.
It's a tremendous thrill. It does as much for a driver's career as anything that there is.
The Perfect 8 Cup Series is proud to welcome you to the 2002 Daytona 500, live from the Daytona International Speedway here in Florida. It started in 1959 and today it has truly become the great American race. These teams have been preparing these cars for the Daytona 500 since the end of last season. Now, after an exciting Speedweeks, it's time to find out which team and driver will have all their hard work rewarded with the Harley J. Earl Trophy. Hello, my name is Paul Jones, your commentator for today's Daytona 500. It's been a fun week here in Daytona Beach, watching practice, Budweiser Shootout, the Daytona 500 qualifying, and the Gatorade Twin 125s. The teams and drivers have learned a lot over this past week. So have the fans and broadcasters. This Speedweeks has seen a mix of veteran drivers like Jeff Gordon and Dale Jarrett competing with young guns like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, and the rookie, Jimmie Johnson. Before we get to the opening ceremonies, let's take a quick look at the highlights from Speedweeks. It all started here last Sunday as the Budweiser Shootout at Daytona got Daytona Speedweeks going as 18 drivers competing here in this little short 7-lap race here at Daytona. Veterans Dale Jarrett and Bill Elliott started on the front row of this race, followed by a young gun, Kurt Busch, in third. As we took the green flag to begin the 7-lap race, Dale Jarrett and Kurt Busch both got the jump on the start and just took off into the lead. And then we get to lap 2, and this is where things start to get exciting. Kurt Busch decides to take the lead here as he makes a move on the outside on the backstretch with help of Jeff Gordon. And then out of turn 4, Gordon makes it 3 wide. Jarrett was so busy focused on Busch, left the inside open, and Jeff Gordon took advantage of it. Jeff Gordon looked very strong here. And then Dale Jr. making a pass on lap 4. He gets by Jeff Gordon for the lead of the Bud Shootout. And then this was the talk in the entire garage. Tony Stewart started 15th in this race. He worked himself all the way up to second. As we see here, an amazing drive. Then on the last lap, tried to make a pass on Jr., couldn't get enough momentum to get underneath. Dale Jr. wins the Budweiser Shootout as he wins the first trophy of Speedweeks. And then Daytona 500 qualifying highlights were quite interesting, as again, this followed the Bud Shootout on Sunday, as it was again a beautiful day for fast times, and Jimmie Johnson was the first driver to really turn a blistering lap here at Daytona as he went to the pole early on. And I mean, just turned a fast lap at 185.8 miles per hour. Then Michael Waltrip came out and he turned another fast lap after Jimmie, and he became the next driver to take the pole, turning a lap at 186.07. And then Kevin Harvick would be the one who would turn the next fast lap. He would hit 186.114 miles per hour. Then Jeff Gordon, he was really the only other driver who challenged Harvick for the pole. And as we see here, he hit 186.109, just 0.005 of a second short. Harvick wins the pole. Jeff Gordon qualifies on the outside pole as they lock in their spots. So you can see Michael Waltrip, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr. round out your top 5 for pole qualifying. But then it was time to race the Gatorade Twin 125s here last Thursday. As we take a look at the highlights from Group 1, Kevin Harvick and Michael Waltrip would be on the front row. Dale Jr., Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett, and Ricky Rudd in the rows behind them as we get the green flag. and really nothing eventful. Harvick took the lead immediately. Then on lap 3, Michael Waltrip, last year's Daytona 500 winner, with the help of his teammate Dale Jr., looks very familiar like last year's Daytona 500, to the lead, and that would be it. Michael Waltrip would win Gatorade Twin 125, duel number 1, as he would qualify third for the Daytona 500. Hank Parker Jr. was unable to make the Daytona 500 with his poor finish, as Earnhardt finished right behind Waltrip. Rudd, Jarrett, and Harvick round out your top 5. And then it was time to do another duel race, duel number 2, as duel number 2 saw Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart starting on the front row, with Gordon's the car that Gordon co-owns with Hendrick Motorsports, driven by Jimmie Johnson in second, and they immediately went to the lead. Then on lap 2, Gordon has a slip-up. Out of turn 4, gets a little loose, as this pavement is kind of old. Jimmie Johnson goes to the lead, and then half a lap later, Jeff Green showing some noise. He goes to the lead as he takes Tony Stewart behind him. Then on lap 4, troubles for Jason Leffler. The first caution of Speedweeks, blows an engine, and that would end his day. As we got a restart then with 3 laps to go. Tony Stewart, with the help of Jimmie Johnson, rockets by Jeff Green and wins duel number 2 here at Daytona, as it was a very strong performance for Tony Stewart. Jason Leffler, because of his blown engine, would not make the Daytona 500. Stewart, Johnson, Gordon, Labonte, and Marlin rounded out your top 5 here. Speedweeks has shown us a lot, including the favorites for the Daytona 500. Let's start with our pole sitter, Kevin Harvick. Harvick is making his debut in the Daytona 500, as last year this car was driven by Dale Earnhardt, and of course he was tragically killed in last year's event. Harvick took over the ride from race 2 at Rockingham and really had a tremendous rookie season. He won his 3rd career Cup start at Atlanta, and of course that was a very emotional victory. He's shown speed all week, and he showed a lot of speed on pole day, as he took the pole with a blistering 186 mile per hour lap. It was an emotional pole for Harvick and RCR. Harvick's first Daytona 500 he's in. He wins the pole. And for RCR as a whole, after Dale Earnhardt's death, to come back here and win the pole the very next year. And it's going to be cool. Dale Earnhardt's replacement will lead the field to the green flag. Speaking of Dale Earnhardt, let's talk about the team he started. Dale Earnhardt Incorporated swept both Daytona races last year and have won 2 of the 4 events in Speedweeks. Michael Waltrip won last year's Daytona 500, which of course was overshadowed by the death of his owner, Dale Earnhardt. He won the first Twin 125 on Thursday, and he will roll off 3rd for today's race. He's looking to go back-to-back. He feels very confident, and he wants to be one of the few drivers who can say they've won the Daytona 500 2 years in a row. Now let's talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Jr. won last summer's Daytona race. It was a very emotional victory. First time NASCAR came back to Daytona after the death of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s father, Dale Earnhardt Sr. It was an emotional victory then, and it's been a good Speedweeks for Junebug, as he won the Bud Shootout in dominant fashion, and he finished second in his duel race to his teammate Michael Waltrip. Can Junebug win his first Daytona 500 a year after his father's death in this very race? It'd be very cool to see. Tony Stewart is another name that has popped up throughout Speedweeks. He was the talk of the garage last Sunday. After his impressive Budweiser Shootout performance, he started 15th in this 18-car field. It was only a 7-lap race, and Tony worked his way all the way up to second. It was really impressive. He almost won the race. Had a chance on the last lap, was unable to get the slingshot off on Dale Jr., and it was really impressive to watch. And Tony and Smoke won the second Twin 125 race, so he will roll off 4th. He has looked strong all week, and he's certainly going to be a competitor for the Harley J. Earl Trophy. Another name that has popped up throughout the garage this week is relatively unknown. Chosen personally by Jeff Gordon to run the 4th Hendrick Motorsports entry, which Rick Hendrick and Jeff Gordon co-own, Jimmie Johnson has turned many heads with his performance this week. After qualifying 6th, and that was after sitting on the pole for a while, He finished second in the Twin 125, the second Twin 125, beating out his co-car owner, Jeff Gordon, and his teammate, Terry Labonte. The 48 Lowe's Chevrolet is a new car to the Winston Cup circuit, yet it might be the Daytona 500 winning car in a little bit. Now, let's go trackside to get opening ceremonies underway.
Please rise for the presentation of colors by the City of Daytona Beach Police Department, and please remain standing for the invocation by the Reverend Hal Marchman.
Almighty God, we thank you for this beautiful place with all this wonderful crowd. And we thank you for the people who make this possible, and we pray for the drivers and for all who are involved this day. Shalom and amen.
And now to honor America with our national anthem, RCA recording artist and Metropolitan Opera star, Denise Graves.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket with the bombs bursting in, he flew the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the
Denise Graves, ladies and gentlemen. And how about a hand for the majestic Eagles, Phoenix and Sequoia from SeaWorld Orlando, and for those 4 F-16 Vipers who were flown today by the 78th and 55th Fighter Squadrons out of Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina, with flight lead Major Jack Dennison.
The drivers are strapped into the cars ready to get the 2002 Daytona 500 underway. Let's go back trackside to get the command to start engines.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, the Grand Marshal of the 44th Daytona 500, Chad Holliday.
Representing the employees of DuPont, drivers, start your engines!
And the engines are fired up here at Daytona as the pace car pulls off and begins to lead the field on the pace laps as the crowd continues to roar here at Daytona. As let's go and take a look at our starting grid. On row 1, you have pole sitter Kevin Harvick and outside pole winner Jeff Gordon. On row 2, you have the Twin 125 winners Michael Waltrip and Tony Stewart. On row 3, you have Dale Earnhardt Jr., who won here in July, and Jimmie Johnson, the rookie. On row 4, you have Ricky Rudd and Terry Labonte. On row 5, you have a couple Daytona 500 winners, Dale Jarrett and Sterling Marlin. On row 6, you have Bill Elliott and Jeff Green. On row 7, you have Kurt Busch and Robbie Gordon. On row 8, you have Mark Martin and Matt Kenseth, Roush teammates on row 8. On row 9, you have Bobby Labonte and Ward Burton. On row 10, you have Ricky Craven and Johnny Benson. On row 11, we have Rusty Wallace and Bobby Hamilton. On row 12, you have Ryan Newman and Todd Bonine. On row 13, you have Elliott Sadler and Brett Bonine. On row 14, you have Mike Skinner and Jeff Burton. On row 15, you have John Andretti and Greg Biffle. On row 16, we have Kyle Petty and Jimmy Spencer. On row 17, you have Joe Nemechek and Ken Schrader. On row 18, we have Jason Keller and Robert Presley. On row 19, we have Jerry Nadeau and Buckshot Jones, fun name to say. On row 20, we have Mike Wallace and Rick Mass. Then on row 21, we have Dave Blaney and Casey Atwood. And then on the final row, we have Andy Houston. Race analysis, 25 laps, 62.5 miles. Fuel window, 13 to 15 laps. We're not paying any money. Single file restarts, no overtime, no racing back to the caution flag. As now the pace car is pulling off in the pit road as the field coming to the green flag. Here we go. Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon lead the field to the green flag. And we are racing in the 2002 Daytona 500. Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon go single file right away as Jeff Gordon able to squeeze in front of Michael Waltrip as we begin the Daytona 500 here. Some beautiful shots of the field. Looks like Ricky Rudd going 3 right wide on Jimmie Johnson towards the back. As we're going to come out at turn 4, it looks like it's going to be Harvick who's going to lead the first lap with Jeff Gordon and the DEI teammates Michael Waltrip and Dale Jr. and Gordon going to the inside of Harvick. And he's got the DEI team right behind him. Harvick is hung out to dry. Jeff Gordon to the lead of the Daytona 500. Two-time winner of the Daytona 500 as he goes to the lead. As after the first 4 drivers or so, first 4 cars, or 3 cars, it looks like we have double file racing as we get to lap 3. Jeff Gordon, Michael Waltrip, Dale Jr. continue to be out front. Looks like Ricky Rudd is in 4th. Following these guys, Ricky Rudd, we haven't talked much about him. He's another guy who would love to win a Daytona 500. As looks like Kevin Harvick and Dale Jarrett are battling for 5th as we get a flyby of the field. Looks like the field is starting to break out into a few separate packs. The top 4 are breaking away from the rest of the field. As we begin lap 4, Jeff Gordon looks like he's not going to have any challenge from Michael Waltrip yet. Waltrip content to sit back in 4th place. As looks like Harvick joining. We got Jarrett. Oh my gosh! Hard hit into the backstretch wall. Caution is out as the fans hold their breath. A hard hit for Dale Jarrett on the backstretch. And he is okay after a scary wreck. He climbs out of his car. Kurt Busch sustained some minor damage during that wreck. And that's a shame as we take a look at the replay. Looks like he drifts up in turn 2 and I guess got loose and tried to recover. Kurt Busch was there and turned him into the inside wall. That was a hard hit. You have to remember, it's a concrete wall. And it was a hard, vicious hit. And fans certainly held their breath for a minute here. They were very happy to see Jarrett climb out of his car. Kurt Busch looks like sustained a lot of right front damage as Dale Jarrett, vicious hit. He's really lucky he climbed out of that one as we take a look in real time. Just looks like he got loose and was unable to recover and spun off the bumper of Kurt Busch. So what looked like a promising day ends early for Dale Jarrett, and Kurt Busch's day has gotten a lot more difficult as we'll take a quick commercial break and be right back here at Daytona.
Let's go! First try! Let's freaking go!
The way your fingers fit in mine. It's 5 plus 5, not a rocket science. This day and time, that's hard to find, it's true. The road we're on ain't a traffic jam. It's a Sunday drive on a piece of land. It's paradise as long as I'm with you. It's like 1, 2, 3, just as easy as can be. Just the way you look at me, you make me smile. Ain't no need to complicate it. We both know that's overrated. We've been there, it's safe to say it ain't our style. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. We used to live on Instagram, worried about who all gives a damn about where we've been and where we ended up. Then I met you and you met me, and all the rest is history. An epiphany that all we need is us. It's like 1, 2, 3, just as easy as can be. Just the way you look at me, you make me smile. Ain't no need to complicate it. We both know that's overrated. We've been there, it's safe to say it ain't our style. We're just simple like a 6-string, the way this world was meant to be. Like laugh and love, make a lot out of a little. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. Ain't no need to complicate it. We both know that's overrated. We've been there, it's safe to say it ain't our style. Yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, just as easy as can be. Just the way you look at me, you make me smile. Ain't no need to complicate it. We both know that's overrated. We've been there, it's safe to say it ain't our style. We're just simple like a 6-string, the way this world was meant to be. Like love, make a lot out of a little. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. It's just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be. It's just that simple,
Falling in, falling out.
S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as
Bounce
can
in,
be.
bounce
It's
out.
just that simple, S-I-M-P-L-E, simple as can be.
Welcome back here at Daytona as the pace car is pulling off and Jeff Gordon is leading the field to the green flag as we're back racing here at Daytona. Waltrip to the inside and Michael Waltrip, and he's taking everybody with him. Dale Earnhardt Jr. following. And there Michael Waltrip goes to the lead. DEI up front. Here comes Kevin Harvick in the third as he goes to the inside of Jeff Gordon. Looks like Gordon has his teammates on the outside line, as he will lose some positions, but it looks like he's coming back now on the outside. The outside, getting stuck, stranded on the outside may not have hurt the 24 at all. As we begin lap 8, he's back in the third place. Michael Waltrip continues to lead up front. He's got his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind him. Their teammates, I mean, we don't know. Maybe Junior will try and go for the lead. Looks like Jeff Gordon diving to the inside as we get a flyby of the field. And here comes the 24 DuPont Chevrolet. Going to the lead now. Jeff Gordon back out front as he takes his teammate Terry Labonte with him. Michael Waltrip fighting back on the outside. Gordon goes up to block. Looks like Labonte to the inside. Gordon tries to block. He can't do it. They're side by side for the lead. Hendrick Motorsports 1-2 battling for the lead. Rick Hendricks getting a little nervous watching his drivers battle so hard, as looks like Jeff Gordon gets a good run on the backstretch and then gets stranded. Michael Waltrip to the outside. Gordon stuck in the middle and he's going to fall to the back. Terry Labonte out front all by himself now, as Terry Labonte has Kevin Harvick right behind him in second. Terry Labonte, we haven't talked much about him. He's looking pretty racy today. As looks like Michael Waltrip trying to come back on the outside. He's side by side with Ricky Rudd. As we look here, Jeff Gordon has fallen all the way back to the second path. Just a tough break, got stranded in the just in the middle, and that did him in as we begin lap 11. And oh, contact between Gordon and Marlin, 4 wide for a second. Crazy, and we got trouble. Oh no! Brett Bonine is flipping over and over on the front stretch. The caution is out. Big wreck on the front stretch. The big one hits here at Daytona, and a scary flip. The red flag is out. Crew's rushing out to check on Brett Bonine as they're in there trying to get him out. Looks like they're signaling that he's okay, though. So, just a little awkward to get out. Zolt pry him out, and as we take a look at the replay, looks like Gordon and Marlin made contact. I don't know if Gordon was going on the outside, trying to go on the outside of Marlin. Marlin blocked, and then they went 4 wide for a second. Mark Martin forces Bobby Hamilton beneath the line. Then Hamilton gets turned by Newman. See here, and Brett Bonine was just a spectator to that. Didn't see it coming at all, and then he just starts barrel rolling on the front stretch. 4, 5, looks like 5, 6 times he flipped over. Crazy ride for Brett Bonine as we take a look at the replay. Yeah, Gordon goes to the outside, maybe got pushed from Martin, and went to the outside of Marlin, make contact. They were able to keep from wrecking, but they were unable to cause the chain reaction which wound up causing that wreck. Brett Bonine is okay after wild ride. Jerry Nadeau, in the 25, one of the Hendrick cars, is out. He gets caught up in another's wreck. Disappointing day for Jerry Nadeau. Not a very good Speedweeks. Jimmy Spencer also not a very good Speedweeks in that 41 Target Dodge. Mr. Excitement ends his day in the garage. Bobby Hamilton won a super speedway race last year. His day ends in frustration. So a tough break for all those guys, as meanwhile, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we will be right back here at Daytona.
You might have beaten me to Bristol, but there ain't no way you're getting to Dago for me.
Driving mighty slow to be talking like that.
Well, that is just adorable. Do me a favor? Let me know how my taillights are working.
See you at the track. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can be done?
Come on, baby. Come on, don't be like that. Come on. There you go. There you go.
We've got a long way to go, and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound and
Welcome back to Daytona. The caution flag has come out again, and we got pit stops. Let's go to pit road to Mary.
Terry Labonte will come to pit road from the lead. He's very happy with the way the car is handling. The crew is debating whether to take 4 or 2 tires, but Labonte's crew chief has decided to opt for 4 sticker Goodyear tires. Seth?
Michael Waltrip is very happy with his number 15 Napa Chevrolet. He told his crew over the radio right before the red flag that his car is a race-winning car. Sam?
Kevin Harvick coming to pit road. Oh! He overshoots his box. Kevin Harvick just overshot his box, guys. And this is terrible for the 29 machine. They were just looking for 4 tires and fuel, and that's going to be a disastrous pit stop. Terrible chaos in the 29 pit. Back to you guys. Thank you, Sam. And a crazy pit stop for Kevin Harvick. Looks like Johnny Benson came out first. Looks like a mixture of strategies here at Daytona. Ryan Newman, Ward Burton behind him. We will set everything up for you when we come back from the break. As first, we're going to take a commercial break here at Daytona.
NASCAR Thunder 2003.
Michael Castro for president.
My name is Michael Castro, and I approve this message.
Welcome back here at Daytona International Speedway for the 2002 Daytona 500. As we mentioned, a mixture of pit strategies. Johnny Benson, Ryan Newman, and Ward Burton took fuel only, gambling here to win the Great American Race. As Johnny Benson looked strong here in 2000, and Ryan Newman and Ward Burton also looking to win the race. Ryan Newman, a rookie this year. Robbie Gordon and Jeff Green, RCR teammates, took only right side tires, so 2 tires for those guys. And Terry Labonte loses the lead during the pit stops. As we heard during pit stops, they decided to take 4 tires in the field. We'll see how well that works out for him. Another storyline, DEI running strong together. Looks like they stayed together throughout the chaos that was happening on pit road. So team's got to be worried. Elliott Sadler also took fuel only. He was really marked back there. This will help his position. We'll see what the Wood Brothers driver can do. And Kevin Harvick looking to recover from a disastrous pit stop. He's marked way back in the field now. We'll see if he'll be able to mount a charge. He was running top 5. As we'll see if he'll be able to compete for the win later. As for the meantime, pace car is pulling off. Johnny Benson leads the field to the green flag. And a great start for Terry Labonte in the outside line, it looks like. Getting to the outside, Robbie Gordon. And he's got Dale Jr. and Michael Waltrip right behind him with Elliott Sadler and Jimmie Johnson. Up front, looks like that outside line's creeping up. Meanwhile, Johnny Benson out front ahead of Newman and Ward Burton. 3 wide. Dale Jr. goes to the outside of Terry Labonte. Looks like Labonte was trying to make a move on Burton, and he just got himself stuck in the middle. Dale Jr. now going to the outside of Ward Burton for 3rd. DEI is just really strong as Ward Burton looks like is going to lose a couple spots. Junior coming up to the bumper of Ryan Newman. Maybe 4 tires are also helping too. Remember, Daytona has 20-year-old pavement. I mean, having worn tires may not help. As we see here, Elliott Sadler, another guy who took fuel only, he gets stuck in the middle. Jimmie Johnson and Matt Kenseth go to the outside of him. As we're going to begin lap 16, looks like despite taking fuel only, Johnny Benson, Ryan Newman out front, but they got a hungry Dale Jr. looking at the inside of Newman there, coming down the front stretch. As we go back down the back stretch, Jr. looks like he's going to get a run for Waltrip. He goes to the outside of Newman. Dale Jr. in the second. It's a very strong run. He's going to go to the outside. Benson blocks. Jr. gets stranded up. Side by side for the lead. Waltrip going for the lead now on the inside of Benson. Michael Waltrip to the lead. Wow, what a chaotic turn 3 and 4. As Johnny Benson goes up to block Dale Jr. and almost puts Jr. on the wall. Looks like Benson's fighting back on the outside, but Jr.'s nowhere in sight right now. Oh my goodness. Johnny Benson fighting on the outside of Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson in second place, making his way quietly up back into the top 5. Matt Kenseth looks like in 4th. As Michael Waltrip continues to lead, we're on lap 18. This race moving by very quickly. As we're 2 wide, let's see Dale Jr. all the way back there. And we got 3 wide in the middle. Looks like Ward Burton getting stranded out there. Ricky Rudd making a move to the inside. As a great flyby of the field. Looks like, yeah, just a little bit of 3 wide racing in the back of the field. But Michael Waltrip and Jimmie Johnson have control of this race out front. As Matt Kenseth in 3rd. Looks like Terry Labonte now side by side with Johnny Benson. The outside line not doing anything. Bill Elliott now gets stranded on the outside. Dale Jr. underneath. As Newman pushes up and Ricky Rudd to the inside. Another great move by Ricky Rudd. He's making his way up, and here comes Jr. again to the outside of Newman. Wow, Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to mount a charge, but meanwhile it's a 5-car breakaway out front. As Michael Waltrip, Jimmie Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Terry Labonte, and Johnny Benson have broken away from the rest of the pack. As they are going to continue to run single file. This won't last for long, maybe for a couple of laps. Looks like Ricky Rudd and Tony Stewart 6 and 7. Dale Jr. to the middle of Robbie Gordon. Dale Jr. making his way up front again. As he has Elliott Sadler and Bill Elliott behind him. Looks like Ricky Rudd goes up to block Jr. Wow. And looks like Kenseth to the inside of Jimmie Johnson. Matt Kenseth looking to take second place. Johnson dives to the inside of the block. Benson goes up high. He tries to clear. Rudd, he can't. They're in the wall. Oh no. Big wreck on the backstretch. A huge wreck, big wreck on the backstretch as Johnny Benson and Ricky Rudd get into a big wreck. Heartbreak for Johnny Benson. And disappointing end to a top 5 run for Ricky Rudd. He was looking really strong, making some very racy moves. Ward Burton caught up in that wreck. The gamble fails. Robbie Gordon, a tough end to his day, and Jeff Green, 2 RCR cars involved in that wreck. Ricky Craven, haven't talked much about him today. He gets caught up in this mess. Has a big wreck on the backstretch. As we look at a replay, it starts here. Jimmie Johnson tries to slot in 4th behind his teammate Terry Labonte. Johnny Benson goes up high to try and make a pass. I think he thought he was clear of Rudd, but he wasn't. Maybe he saw a foot and just turned in front of Rudd and just went right up into the wall. And then, of course, right in the middle of the pack, look at Harvick barely get by, and then Robbie Gordon plows into the back of Rudd. Looks like Burton catches the wreck there. Ricky Craven, looks like Jeff Green turns into Johnny Benson. Just nowhere to go for all these guys. As we take a look at the replay again, Johnson goes down and Johnny Benson swerves up, and he tries to block Rudd and didn't pay off. Just a disappointment. Look at Junior, barely squeezes by. Dale Earnhardt Jr. making some big moves, and that was another one. Wow. Kevin Harvick also. Watch here, Jeff Green hits the driver's side door of Johnny Benson. That's a scary hit. Luckily, Benson's okay. You don't like to see drivers get hit on the driver's side. Less padding over there, and less car to protect them. As we take a look in real time, just a hard hit all around. Tough break for all these guys. Shame to see all these cars get torn up as Johnny Benson ends his day in the garage. So will Ward Burton. Robbie Gordon, another guy ending his day in the garage. Ricky Rudd. Really sad to see Ricky Rudd. He might have been a contender for the win here if he didn't get caught in this wreck, as Jeff Green and Ricky Craven getting taken out. The Daytona 500 will restart with 2 laps to go on lap 24. So a 2-lap shootout to decide it. Michael Waltrip seeking to go back-to-back. What an emotional victory it would be if he could pull it off. Matt Kenseth is second after slowly moving through the field. And he has a shot to win the Daytona 500. Third-year veteran. Terry Labonte strong all day. He needs a good restart to win. What a big victory that would be for that team. And JJ, the rookie, competing for his first Daytona 500 victory in his Cup debut. What an exciting moment for Jimmie Johnson. And then Dale Jr. seeking to do what he did last July. He's in 5th. He's got 2 laps to do it. We'll see if he'll be able to do it. As the cars are cleaned up, and it's time to get this race finished up, as the pace car is leading the field through turns 3 and 4 now. And the crowd is on their feet. They are roaring. They're going to be standing for these next 2 laps as the pace car pulls off. Michael Waltrip leads the field with a green flag, and Kenseth gets a terrible start. Here comes Dale Jr. on the outside. Jr., he's shooting into second with Tony Stewart. Oh my gosh. Dale Jr. got a great restart, and Matt Kenseth got a really bad one. Waltrip's got his teammate all behind him. We'll see if Jr. plays nice here for the lead. He won't. He dives the inside, almost goes under the yellow line. Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the lead in the Daytona 500. Tony Stewart is behind him in second. Wow, as they move up high, Jr. blocking Stewart. White flag, 1 lap to go here at Daytona. Can Dale Jr. hold on for the win? Tony Stewart tries to block Kenseth. Kenseth gets a great run. Matt Kenseth may challenge for the victory. Stewart's still trying to come back on the outside. Coming down the backstretch, he gets a great run. Tony Stewart, he's going to get a nose out in front of Junior. Heading into 3 and 4, side by side. They're going to be side by side when we come to the line. Coming out of turn 4, Junior gets loose. They're speeding and banging. Side by side to the line, it's Junior. Dale Jr. got him. Dale Jr. wins the Daytona 500. He beats Tony Stewart as he gets congratulations from Matt Kenseth. Both were 2000 rookies. As let's take a look at the replay of this fantastic finish. As we get the green flag, Waltrip got a good start, and I don't know what happened to Kenseth. Junior got an amazing start. I don't know how Junior got that start. I mean, an amazing start. He gets by 3 guys even before. As we take a look, looks like there's a little bit of a gap there, maybe about a car length in between Junior and Johnson. Junior leaving a little bit of room and got away with it. As we head down the backstretch, this is the pass for the leadoff Michael Waltrip. Junior almost goes under the yellow line, Waltrip cannot block, and Waltrip gets stuck in the middle. Tough break for him. Tony Stewart then. They go up high. Elliott Sadler running in third here as we get the white flag. So we're just going to replay this entire lap again. Right here, Stewart tries to block Kenseth. Almost causes a big wreck there. Looks like Matt Kenseth might have a chance to win. Then Stewart gets a great run out of turn 2 and gets a nose out in front of Dale Jr. down the backstretch. Then heading into 3 and 4, Jr. gets a shove from Kenseth, and then Stewart looks like just able to stick side by side. Jr. gets loose off of 4, and it was just a drag race. The two side drafting each other, and Jr. forcing Stewart up the track and wins by maybe a splitter. As we take a look at an alternate camera angle, look at how close this is. Wow. That's certainly one of the closest Daytona 500 finishes ever. Wow. Maybe a splitter. An amazing finish. The crowd is cheering here. An emotional victory for Dale Jr., winning the Daytona 500 a year after his father was killed in this very race as he goes into the grass to begin his burnouts. Wow. And the crowd cheering, and Dale Jr., he's going to make a number 3 on the grass in memory of what his father did just a few years earlier, and in memory of his death. As we'll take a quick commercial break and wrap things up here at Daytona. Welcome back here at Daytona International Speedway as we've just finished the Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in victory lane, celebrating with his crew. The crowd is on their feet here still. Nobody is leaving, as this is going to be a long night here at Daytona for everybody. Well, I think it's fair to say that was one of the more entertaining Daytona 500s we've seen in a while. I mean, so much to talk about. The aero package looked really good. There was a lot of passing. Drivers were able to get runs and make moves through the field. There's no better example than Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was as far back as 15th with 7 laps to go. He had the restart of his life with 2 laps to go, restarting from 5th after Waltrip got a good launch, and Matt Kenseth spun his tires. I mean, he timed the restart perfectly, laying back behind the 48 of Jimmie Johnson, and then forget that term. Going to the outside of Jimmie Johnson, Terry Labonte, and Matt Kenseth to get into second, and then past his DEI teammate half a lap later. Just a fantastic restart for Dale Jr., a fantastic drive. It's going to be one remembered for a long time. Another guy who had a great drive and helped actually Dale Jr. get out front before battling him for the victory is Tony Stewart. Smoke also came from a little ways back. With 7 laps to go, he was 11th. So he was helping Ricky Rudd on the inside lane make 3 wide passes and made his way up to 6th, and then on the final restart was able to push Dale Jr. to the front and then challenge him for the victory. So Tony Stewart looked very strong today. We talked about his Bud Shootout run, and again, he played second fiddle to Dale Jr. then, and he does now. So came within 5 feet short of winning his first Daytona 500. Stewart's drive was impressive, and his Speedweeks was impressive too. But second place finishes and drives are rarely remembered in the Great American Race. Elliott Sadler, let's talk about him. He finishes 3rd in his Wood Brothers entry. This is an upset finish. An impressive drive by him on old tires to finish 3rd in the Great American Race. This is a big finish for the Wood Brothers. They've been struggling. Sadler was actually able to win at Bristol last year, a big victory for them. And he comes through in the clutch again. He finishes 3rd on old tires. They took a gamble, and it paid off. Let's talk about the 4th and 5th place finishers, Matt Kenseth and Bobby Labonte. Matt Kenseth and Labonte both came from mid-pack. Kenseth was second with 2 laps to go before spinning his tires. All in all, a very solid run for the 17 DeWalt Ford for Roush. Still, he's going to be thinking about it tonight when he's laying in bed. What could have happened if I didn't spin my tires? Could I have gotten past Waltrip? Who knows? We'll never find out. And Bobby Labonte finishes 5th, rounds out a great top 5 day for Joe Gibbs Racing, even though they don't come home with the Harley J. Earl trophy. But let's talk about the guy who's the most disappointed right now, Michael Waltrip. Waltrip dominated today, led the most laps, was in position to win with 2 laps to go, restarting in the lead, and he had his own DEI teammate pass him for the victory. We remember last year, Dale Jr. helped Waltrip win the Daytona 500. This year, not so much. Jr. was going for the victory himself, and when he had an opportunity, he took it. So, and then this led Waltrip. He got passed on the outside he got stuck in the middle and fell all the way back to 14th, where he would finish after leading with 2 laps to go. So a disappointing end to Waltrip's day after such a dominating run. The results won't speak for how well he ran today. Well, thank you for watching the 2002 Daytona 500. Congratulations to Dale Earnhardt Jr. for winning the Daytona 500. I'm Paul Jones, signing out here from Daytona. Thank you for watching. God bless, and have a great rest of your day.